So I'm going to make a bike, the coolest bike in the world, using these 3 freaking bicycles. So I'm going to choose one of the frames. They're all girl bikes, and I actually don't know the gender of these, but judging by the color, they're pretty girly. This one actually has a girl on it. Frame on this one's pretty big. So yeah, gonna throw some parts together and see what I can make. Good posture, good form. So this guy has pegs, which I thought was awesome. So I'm gonna take those things off. I think. Yes, I'm gonna take those things off. I can take these things off, and I will take those things off. Or leave them on if I like the frame. The front brakes don't matter. I'm gonna take those things off anyways, because I do want to just have that kickback brake system. This is actually not a bad size. I mean, it's tiny. Oh, that's really tiny. That's actually really tiny. Well, let's take a look at the other frame. Okay, so this is more of my size. It has also a back pedal brake system. Really big frame. So that's pretty solid. I just had to take a wheel, probably this one right here. It's gonna be tiny, but it's still gonna look pretty cool. And again, I'm not gonna have to have the brakes in the front. I'm gonna replace these. It's getting really cold, really dark soon. So I'm gonna get right to this and start tearing things apart. Alright, so real quick. So this old Betsy right here, well, it's not really old, but anyways, the handlebars are pretty cool. It kind of has the old-fashioned grips right there. They're a little tough, but they're still good. But the main interest was this. It was the seat. It's tiny, but it's like pretty solid. There's no like cracks or anything around there. I want to make sure I get a good, like, a long enough pipe, so it's or if it's, make sure it's compatible and all that goodness. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this guy off here. Maybe the pedals off of this. Yeah, the pedals off of this, because they're freaking wide, and those are freaking tanks. I think pretty tanky. So I'm gonna leave this guy on, this whole assembly. That's pretty solid. And again, I'm gonna take these guys off and replace them, with those guys. And then yeah, swap the seat out and do that. My main interest is the pegs off of this thing. I just got to get the pegs off of that. That's pretty much it. Oh, and the tire, the front. So I'm gonna get the pegs and the tire off of this guy, and then I'm gonna get the seat and the steering wheel and the pedals off of that. And I'm gonna, yeah, stick everything together on this thing. I think it's gonna be pretty nifty. So I'm gonna have to take this bugger off because it doesn't have handlebars on it. Alright, so this is a quick recap. Basically my camera battery died, so I couldn't record any further. So I took this off, the brake assembly for the front wheel, removed the old pegs. I also took the kickstand off. There's a lot of things I actually ended up taking off of this thing more than placed on. Did not end up using this Superfly Dragonfly seat cover. It was actually pretty hard, really too hard for my butt. And anyways, I got a very bony butt. I did stick this seat here from a Trek that I had. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so I stuck the wheel on the front there. That is from this guy right over here. Let's see, yeah, so I took the wheel off of this guy, and I'm also going to attempt to disassemble the axle, whatever you would call that, through the back of the wheel, because it's extended, and the reason why it's extended, it has like a little extra poking out here and there, and also these little blocky things that you can see right there. It's because this guy had pegs, and I just took the pegs off. Now I tried to put the pegs onto this thing, but it only had so much thread poking out, and it's actually not enough to grip on there. That's nothing. So if someone, if I screwed a peg on there, someone stepped on it, it would, just probably rip it right off. So I am going to replace this axle with that axle. This would be the most delicate procedure that I've been doing. I would be doing with this bicycle thus far, because the rest of this was really just ripping parts off and sticking that on, sticking this on, putting this guy on, and then sticking that wheel on. Very basic stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna flip this thing over, take this off, this assembly, and figure out how to get this shaft out, and then I'm gonna take that guy apart, get the shaft, or the yeah, whatever. So there's gonna be some chain disassembly and all that good stuff. Pop that off. It's nothing. Yeah. It is a gorgeous, hot, sunny day out right now, let me tell you. Good Lord. I'm taking the nut off the other side right now. I am going to, there's this little bar thing. Alright, so there's this little bar, if you could see it, right in the back here. Anyways, the bar right here is gonna, I guess it prevents something. I'll figure that out. I don't know, we don't remember the function of that bar. It's probably to stop something from rotating, but let something else rotate. Anywho, so I'm gonna take that off and yeah, rotate this chain off here and see what happens. Metric wins again. Also, I noticed on this side there's a Phillips head, but this seems to be turning just fine without having to hold the bolt on the opposite side. Actually, yeah, it's coming right off. So yeah. And it's just one washer there, so make sure I keep that together. Get this assembly off here. So move that forward. Move the chain off like that. And whoop, just like that. And that's it. In a flash, I was thinking about actually removing this entire wheel and the hub. I think I'm going to do that and stick it on the larger bike frame. I think it would actually run smoother because you'll have a bigger gear on a smaller wheel, and I think that would be a lot easier to pedal. It wouldn't go as fast, but I think it'll be a lot smoother. Plus, I think it'll look pretty fly. I mean, you have this big frame with these tiny little wheels. I mean, it's going to be literally like a lowrider. Looks like it has a couple of guards on there, so I'm glad I definitely am filming this, because this is the most delicate procedure. The other stuff was literally just like unscrewing things and throwing things off of that, basically. Going with a 15. So I'm just popping these guys off, and this is the extenders, or the washers basically for the pegs. Actually, hold on a second, I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. Alright, so these are the pegs, and you can see this is the outside here, and this is the inside. This is the part that attaches, but right here you see this little stop right here, and that's where the threads are. So that guy is going to be butting against this right here, this little extension. So this is the thingy. Take off of there. So another piece to throw away. This angle. There we go. That's better. It's always easier to apply downward pressure than upward, and then, you know, like you're trying to strangle a cow, basically. It's the same pressure applied. I've never tried to strangle a cow. I imagine that would put up quite a fight. It pretty much is. It's what I'm doing on the other side is exactly as this. It's same thing going on, the bolt. Blah blah blah. There we go. Wow, that's frozen on there. Whew. Just loosening them up, not taking them completely off because I don't have to. Again, we got another little bar here. We will disassemble. That's a 3. Okay. That's rusty. That's a rust bucket. There we go. Just had to get that loose. I like it when things work out. There's no mistakes here, just happy little accidents. That's apart. Suck that together, blah blah blah. And pull this out. So now shift is forward. Loosen up the chain. We got that. We got that down. Alright, chain is loosened. That is disengaged. And I am starting to sound like Jeff Goldblum. So this time, what I'm going to do is going to keep the. Let's see first with the bar. Let's see if this is about the same size as this, real quick. And it is same size, so we don't have to do extra adaptive work. So we're going to just stick this thing right onto the large frame, just as is, and see, and see what happens. So take this. Okay. All right. Everything looks, pretty fly. Okay. So there's just a little gap right there. So you could just see that there's this like little gap right there between the frame and this. Well, let's consult the previous wheel and see what that had to say. Let's see if this original wheel had the same gap. It actually did, but there was something there. I know there was something there before. Okay. Alright, so it looks like the other one did have a gap, and I think it had something to do with these guys right here. Maybe. Okay. Alright. So, yes. Sticking these guys onto this. And I guess, these little guys act as the spacers that I wanted, but they have the little grippy things. Some like, I don't know, here, I'll show you again. It's not that noticeable, but you'll see those little lines right there. So those lines grip. They make a grab, so it prevents a certain part of the bike from turning. I might discover that I just need one of these things, but what side is it going to be? Alright, so remove that from that, keep those two right there. Okay, it's pretty snug. It's really snug. It's really snug. So I'm just sticking this on for now without the chain, just to see if I could. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's on there. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I like it. As that's turning hard. Oh, that's what that bar thing is for. So that bar thing is actually the kickback brake mechanism. That's what's, it's part of that. All right, there we go. Just like that. And we'll stick the chain on once we on the gear once we get this mounted. There we go. All right. So tight. Okay, that's it. Can I just do without this? All right, so that is what we needed right there. See that whole extra bit right there? Ooh, sorry. Yeah, that extra thread right there. That's what we needed for this guy. So I'm gonna just stick this guy right onto that and just stick that right there, and one on the other side. Leave these spacers out. I think these were present on that frame because that frame was probably a lot more narrower. So again, taking more pieces off, it's I mean, it's a whole lot easier. I'm not complaining about that. It's, you know, taking things apart is like, it's the more fun. I mean, it's probably the more fun, but it's of course when you could manage to get it back together again, that is like, is so, it's just so flippin' rewarding. It's like, it's awesome. Especially for me, like if I haven't done something like this before or in a while, then it's like, man, this actually came together. It's tight enough. The wheel's pretty center. I like that right where it is. Chain shouldn't be jumping off anytime soon. There we go. There we go. Not too hard. Alright, that's the brake there. There we go. Yeah! Woo! I like that. Woo! Alright. There. Every once, like, I don't work on bikes that often, but every once in a while, I like, if ever there comes a project like this, I really like working on these things. I wanted to get into small engine repair because of this basic, you know, just turning wrenches, you know, just physical things, physically putting things together. I love that stuff. Not so much in the technical things. I'm not crazy with wires or electricity. In fact, I have an astonishing fear for electricity. Not astonishing, I just hate everything that has to do with it. There we go. Okay. Alright, so next we have to pump the tire up. It looks like, oh, sheesh, the whole reason why I did this, I completely forgot. We're gonna put some pegs on this thing. Some kegs. That'd be funny. So this looks, okay, so this one is, I noticed, is a lot more inset than this guy right here. And actually, it spooked me a little bit because I thought, you know, because I was gonna put this deep set thing on this guy, which is actually a little short, and it only, yeah, gave me a little bit like that much. But this side actually, believe it or not, has a much, has a much more wider or longer set right there, or space right there. Then, yeah, as you can see, that one. See the difference? Yeah. Well, anyways, so I'm gonna put this deep set one on that side, short one on this side, or the more shallow set. And here we go. So I take this, and they have these like special fancy little holes that go through, so you just stick a screwdriver in there and then just wrench it around. So I'm gonna go get me one of those. So yeah, look at that. That's amazing. Fantastic. So now it's a low rider with pegs. Yeah, totally pimped out. So anyways, I'm just gonna hand tighten these for now, and sticking the other guy on the other side. Again, has space for days. One of these has a spider nest in it, actually, but I didn't want to poke or dig at it. I just, if there's something going on in there, I just wanted it to evacuate itself. In the meantime, it's gonna have a pretty wild ride. Alright, just hand tightening those. Yeah, like that. So next, we pump up the tire, and then stand it up and look back at it and see something that's really cool or not. What was I going to do? Oh, pump the tire. Duh. There we go. Get some here. That's something that someone taught me. It's very valuable. You, whenever you're pumping up a tire, you pump it up just a little, just so you know it's getting tight. And then what you want to do is, other than making sure that nozzle is like straight pointing right at the axle there, you want to make sure it's pointing straight at the axle, and also you massage it a little bit. Make sure that tube is getting nice and evenly spread there. Make sure. Yeah, it's nice, all nice and even. Ooh, looks like the nozzle's going in a different direction there. Right there. Okay. That is. Let's see here. Make sure. There we go. Right there. I try to get it like perfect every time. All right, now I'm starting to hear things stretch in there. That's good. This thing's adjusting. All right, now it's safe to pump it the rest of the way till it explodes. Now there wasn't actually a PSI reading on the side of these tires. There wasn't like a label or anything. It just gave the general diameter, blah blah blah. So I'm just, these are rated for a small kid, but they make toys for 250-pound kids, so I'm half the weight of a 250-pound child. Try to get it off before losing oxygen. All right, so that's nice straight up and down there with the axle nice and even. There we go. All right, let's flip this thing over and see what it looks like upright. All right, so that's it. Actually, I like that. The big wheel is going to be on the back, which kind of does look kind of cool, but it's not as functional. I don't think it would be. Plus, it would be a lot of with a bigger wheel in the back, there's a lot of like lurching in the front, which would be uncomfortable to sit on, and there'll be pressure on the steering wheel and the front wheel there. So we just got a low riding mini bike, so to speak. So anyways, I'm gonna take it for a test run, see how it goes. Definitely a big difference in pedaling. It's very easy, much easier. can see, my knees are almost up to my chest here. Wicked smooth, actually super comfy. Super comfy to drive. Let's take it on a test. To lean forward a bit. Might have to bring back the handlebars, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So yes, it's like I said before, the smaller wheel definitely makes it easier to pedal because I'm not driving this, you know, this big gear on a large tire on a small gear in the back. It's just a lot easier to pedal, and wicked comfy and fun to ride, man. It really is. I think ultimately this would be great for just for someone to hop along, yeah, that's it. I'm really happy about it. So what I'm gonna do next is probably tear it apart and spray paint the frame and all that good stuff. And that's it. That's it.